yoga video, why is she on a sofa? Well, for those of you who are wondering why, this is the intro. If you're not into an intro and you're not interested in anything to do with astrology or tarot or anything like that, or any of the spiritual stuff, you may skip ahead and go straight into the physical practice, which there is a timestamp for. I cater for all needs. For those of you who do want to stay here for the intro and a little bit of astrological woo-woo, then you're in the right place. For those who just want to go straight into physical practice, skip using the chapters which are included. I'm Chloe, if you don't know already. Hello, welcome to Fall for Flow with Chloe. So, I've just done a fun little class for us. Hi Finn, this is my cat Finn. Well, I think it's fun anyway. I made it, so I would do. I'm going to have a section with some arm balances. So obviously you can feel free within the chapters to skip those. We're going to have some spinal flexibility in there as well, and a lot of balance. So if you are somebody who has had spinal surgery recently, or you suffer with very low blood pressure or vertigo, you may want to be more considerate whether you take part in this class or not. There will be suggestions and modifications throughout to adapt your experience, but obviously there will also be things that you might just want to avoid. And look out for the chapters. For the arm balances, I am going to make a chapter where you can just skip to the cool down. With everything else, I am just going to offer modifications. But yeah, we've got a full moon. Sorry, that's distracting. We've got a full moon eclipse in Libra coming up on the 25th. For me in the UK, that's on Monday. And I have been feeling a lot of tension over the last 2 weeks, building, like the equinox, that was quite intense as well. There's a lot going on surrounding it. Anyways, I have got the Astrology Almanac by Emma Howarth from 2024. And I'm just going to read us a little bit. I've actually lost my place because the ribbon came awry or whatever it's done. So yeah, I'm going to read you a little bit. Oh, the light is too bright. There we go. About the nope, it does not like that. About the full moon eclipse in Libra. So the March worm moon, it's called worm moon because this is when all of the worms start to rise from the frozen grounds towards the more moist, fertile and warm soil surface. The birds love it because they can eat them all. Anyway, I digress. The worm moon kicks off the eclipse season. For more on this, see page 74 to 9. In Peace-Seeking Libra, inviting all of us to consider the ways in which we relate to others, dynamic duos of all kinds fall into focus with Libra at the helm. So anyone looking to level up a romance or seek closure on a past hurt should get ready to tune in to the power of this lunation. Expect big feelings, big eclipse realizations, and if you're lucky, a touch of romance. There's quite a lot of Venus things been going on as well recently. And so I will skip generally to the page about eclipse season. Eclipse season is a cosmic wildcard offering up reboots, revelations, shake-ups and switch-ups. Eclipses are either lunar, where the Earth is between the Sun and the full moon, blocking the reflections of light onto the moon's surface, or solar, where the new moon is between the Earth and the Sun, blocking the Sun's light. I was born 3 days after one of those, and is it 18 days after a full moon one. I'm an eclipse season baby, and also a new moon baby. Anyway, I digress again. Or solar, where the new moon is between the Earth and the Sun, blocking the Sun's light, and it always comes in pairs. There are 2, rarely 3, annual eclipse periods each year. Whilst we can't always see them, especially in the UK where I live, and it's always like overcast with clouds, depending on their path, timing and cloud over, as I mentioned, we can often feel their cosmic effects, and by gum, can I feel this one arising. Astrologically, eclipses activate the lunar nodes, north and south nodes, known as the nodes of fate, and the pair of signs those nodes are currently in. So the moon is in Libra, the sun is in Aries. So the sun is the north node, yes, the north node, and Libra is the south node. The nodes change sign every 18 months, and you're more likely to feel the impact of the eclipse season if they're in your sign, hence Aries, Libra, watch out. This year, that means that Libra and Aries will be feeling the impact of the eclipses a cycle that began in April 2023, followed by Pisces and Virgo, whose eclipse cycle begins on the 18th of September and follows through to 2026. I'm a Virgo rising, better watch out for that as well. That said, anyone can find themselves impacted by an eclipse season depending on their individual birth chart and cosmic sensitivity. I feel maybe I am highly more impacted because I was born right next to 2 massive eclipses. Eclipses are said to usher in change, sudden realizations, and new ways of understanding the world and how we relate to it. There is a sense that whatever rises to the surface during the eclipse is something you need to know to move forwards. As tempting as it is to get on with your usual new moon intentions and full moon manifesting rituals during eclipse, there's often more magic to be found in sitting back and waiting to see what comes up. As you know, it's on the nodes, so they are, you know, your paths of fate, where you've been, where you're going. So I agree. See what the universe offers you on the eclipse to clear out, south node, and to head toward, therefore, north node. Eclipses are cosmic wild cards, but generally speaking, a solar eclipse, which occurs during a new moon, tends to hammer home the need for a new beginning, sometimes by slamming a door in your face, while a lunar eclipse, which occurs during a full moon, is more of an emotional, cosmic big reveal, shining a sudden, shocking spotlight on what's no longer working. I will now see you on the mat. Enjoy. Hey, so today to start, we are going to come to lie on our backs. So just rolling down to the mat. Take a few breaths while you're down here. Maybe take a hand to the heart and one to the abdomen, just connect the breath. And sink a little into the mat. Leaving any distracting thoughts outside of the room, outside of this practice. When you're ready, you're going to take the hands to the mat, separate the feet out a little bit wider than the mat and plant the feet. Then start to window wipe the hips from side to side. Lovely, just allowing each knee to drop in towards the centre of the mat, one after the other. Notice where you're feeling this in your body. For me today, I've got a bit of an achy lower back. I'm trying to stretch it out a lot in this practice. Now we're just going to bend the knees towards us and start to rotate the ankles. And allow the knees to sink from one side of the mat in your supine twist. You can prop the knees up under a block or just let them hover where they want to come to. Option to keep the gaze up towards the ceiling, or you can look down the opposite arm, whatever's comfortable in your neck today. You should feel a nice stretch up the lower back here and down the side body, maybe in this hip, side of the hip here. When you're ready, bring the knees back to centre, switch it over to the other side. Now you want to bring that hand to rest on the knees here, remembering what's comfortable in your neck today. I can feel it more at this side of my body today. Notice where you feel it and breathe into it. Bring the knees back. I'm going to raise the feet up to the sky, give the ankles another little wiggle. I'm going to bend and straighten and just start to rub. This foot can stay on the ground as we do this first leg. Just start rubbing the back of the leg, back of the thigh, hamstring as we kick the foot to the sky. Flat foot flex towards the ceiling for now. And then just start to sort of ease that foot towards you. Have a little play. Maybe let it wiggle around in a circle a bit. When you're ready, switch it over. Hammy rubs on the other side. Give that ankle a little rotate again. Mine just did an almighty crack. Okay. And play with guiding it towards you a little. Gently stretching open that hamstring. Maybe give it a bit of a circle around. Waking those hips up a little bit more. Good. Pop that leg down. Take the hands behind the head and clasp the fingers together. I'm going to straighten one leg out and then crunch and twist so that the knee touches the ankle. And then the knee touches the elbow, sorry. That's be almost impossible. And then I'm going to switch it over. So bring one leg straight and just hover the heel of the foot off of the ground. Bend and twist to tap the elbow on the opposite knee. Try and keep the neck soft here so that you're not crunching in the neck and pulling your head too far forward. Try and keep that neck soft. And then when you're ready, we can start to speed up the pace a little bit. Should feel your core switching on nicely here. Maybe have a little hold in some places. Hold and hover. And release it back down, knees pointing up to the sky. Point the feet up to the sky again, legs straight. Now cross the legs over one another and see if you can bring the feet and grab them down towards the buttocks in this sort of cross-leg pose, this reclined shoelace. Doesn't matter if your feet don't come down as far as this. Trying to make sure the tailbone and the shoulders remain in contact with the mat. Should feel a nice deep stretch through both of the outer sides of the hip here. Try to relax the shoulders as you pull the legs towards you, and release. Maybe you're more up here, perfectly fine, wherever your body wants to go to, and cross your legs over the other way. Allow the feet to come down to the buttocks and pull them down. Pull that tailbone down, the shoulders down to the mat. Relax the shoulders, feeling that stretch again up the sides of the hips, outer edges of the hips. Breathe into any kind of new sensations you might be having, any deep stretching. Lovely. And unwind. Bring the feet back to the mat. I'm going to push the hands into the mat and flatten the feet down. And we're just going to start tilting the tailbone. We're not pushing up into a full bridge here. We're just tilting the pelvis up and down, lifting it some way off the mat, but not pushing all the way up onto the shoulders into our bridge. Just slowly awakening in this dynamic sort of pelvic thrusting. So really squeezing the thighs and engaging the pelvic floor, squeezing the buttocks. Lovely. I'm going to cross the feet and rock and roll up to seated. Or you can just sort of clamber your way up depending on your mood today and how it feels in your body. Lovely. When we're all up, I'm going to take the hands behind us and lift the feet and start to tap, 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 tap. So just supporting the weight of the body with the hands planted behind us here, sitting on the buttocks. Lovely. And see if we can hold a little boat pose here. So really squeeze the feet, the knees together. See if you can point the fingers into a bit of a gun shape in front of you and twist and tap the arms from side to side. If this is a little much, you can keep the feet down and just be twisting like so. You do you in your body today and where your level of flexibility and stamina is right now. Fab, bring those hands back behind. If you would like to have a go at kicking up and straightening the legs, and then bringing the arms out straight and ahead, kicking those feet up to the sky, and holding your boat with straight legs, that's an option. Otherwise, bring the hands behind. I'm going to cross one ankle over the knee and allow this knee to come out into a sort of figure 4 shape, a nice right angle shape. And breathe into the stretch you should feel up here. See if you can walk your torso closer to it, or see if you're more comfortable further away. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to twist it from side to side. Allow the knee to go down to the mat and the foot to go down to the mat. So twisting at the lower hips, lower back and core. Doesn't matter if it doesn't come all the way down to the mat. switch it over, hook the other foot. So flexing the foot and hooking it on. So see how I'm sort of kicking the toes up to the sky and really strong through that foot, strong flexion through that foot there. So it's not sort of limp like this. So it's like a kicking with the heel foot. And we're going to twist. Fabulous. Bring both feet down to the mat. I'm going to stay with these hands behind us with the fingers pointing towards the feet. Feet are about hip distance apart. Puff the chest out a little, grip through the fingers, and we're going to swing the hips up and back and up and back into this dynamic table, opening those shoulders some. Connect the breath here. And if you're ready, push and hold. Really switch on those legs and those glutes and the core muscles. And when you're ready, release. Fab. And we're going to come onto the knees and into our tabletop position. Shoulders stacked under, hands stacked under the shoulders, knees stacked under the hips. And come into your cat-cows by arching the spine in your cow, inhaling, pushing through the fingers and the palms, rounding that spine in your cat, exhaling. Inhale back into your cow. Exhale, push that ground away, suck the stomach in, protract the shoulders in your cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Flow through about 4 more at your own pace. Lovely. Then we're going to start some tiger crunches. So kicking and pointing the toe up to the sky on an inhalation behind us, forming this sort of curve in the back. And then exhaling and tucking the knee in towards the chest. Exhaling, crunching. Inhaling, kicking. Two more. And switch it over the other side. Crunch, kick, crunch, kick. Flow at your own pace. Lovely. Maybe stretch out those toes a little bit by putting the weight back onto them here, and come into a seat, sitting on the toes in a toe stretch. I'm just going to roll out the wrists a little here, disco wrists. So I'm just getting the backs of the hands and allowing them to roll together and pointing the fingers back out. Sort of rolling the fingers towards me and away from me. You can also just make fists and roll the wrists like so. And then we're going to go into strong arms. So we're going to squeeze the biceps and imagine we're a muscle man. And really point those wrists, turn those wrists so their fingers and knuckles are pointing down towards the bicep. Really tense the bicep. And then open the arms out. And allow the wrists to turn right back on each other. And flick the fingers open as you do it. Like, I have the power. Curl it in, get strong, strongman arms. I've got the power! Release it. We're going to just 2 more times. Don't know where I got the power from. I've got the power! I'll stop that now. So that's 2 more of those. Give your feet a little draw them out here. And we're going to step. I'm stepping forward with my right foot, into a bit of a lunge. Have a little bounce here. I'm going to take the arms behind as in a fist and curve the chest forward and flex into that hip flexor. That knee is stacked over the ankle and not overshooting. Now see if you can work your hands, I'll just split so you can see, towards where your bra strap would be, and reach the other arm up and see if you can grab the fingers like so whilst in your lunge. Option to just remain like this or grab hold of your top as well is another option. Wherever you are. Excellente. My shoulders are very tight today. It has been a very stressful few weeks. And I can really feel it in my shoulders, can you? Lovely. And bring the hands to the mat momentarily. Keep that foot planted and the knee turned out while we pivot on this back knee. So we're up on one knee, other knee is externally rotated out. Open your arms out and look down the fingers over that extended knee. Knee is again stacked over the ankle, and we're going to stretch the side body, bringing the guiding hand down to the inner thigh to rest. Other arm comes up overhead. Nice stretch this side body. And we're going to reverse it. So up, yeah, reverse it. Bringing the back hand down to the inner thigh, and the guiding arm comes up overhead. Stretch through the opposite side of the body. Lovely. Now bring the hands to the mat. Keep this knee where it is. Plant the palm. I'm going to see if we can kick the foot into the hand and bend that knee, and then just push it outwards. So we're allowing that shoulder and that knee and the front of the quadricep to stretch open. So sort of kicking our foot out and letting the hand go with it to straighten the arm. And breathe here. Lovely. And let that knee come down. I'm going to prop the other knee up. I'm going to take that on the other side. So stack the knee over the ankle and find that kneeling warrior on the other side. Gaze down the arm. Try to soften the shoulders, but keep the arms and the hands level in a straight line. And we're going to reverse it first this time. Yeah, keep you on your toes. And we're going to switch it the other way into this sort of side angle. Juicy stretch up the side body. Lovely. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat, walk that hand round, plant the palm, kick that foot into the hand and start to pull and kick the arm and the foot behind you, flexing open. That hip flexor. Lovely. lower the knee and step the opposite, so the left foot forward, finding your lunge. Have a little bounce there on the other side again. And if and when you feel ready, find your arm bind on the other side. So I moved my left hand towards the bra strap area last time, so this time I'm moving my right hand towards the bra strap area, and then lifting the other arm up and over to see if I can grasp those fingers. Again, option to grab onto your top instead. If you had a strap here, you could also use a strap or a towel and hold on to either ends of the towel here to bridge the gap between the hands. Breathe deep into the shoulders. Fantastic. Bring the hands to the mat. And we're going to straighten the leg, point the toes towards the sky. Keep the spine long, so you're looking down at the mat, coming into a half Hanuman. And send it into a lunge. Hanuman, lunge. Half Hanuman, lunge. Flowing dynamically. Connect to the breath here. Find your flow of breath as you exhale and fold. Inhale and lunge. Fab. And we're going to swing that leg round and come into our gate. Chaturanga arms. Pivot up onto the heel and sink the hips. You can option to keep the foot planted here. I like quite a deep stretch in my inner thigh. And you can just swing back and forward if you don't want to add in those chaturanga arms. If you do, gripping through the hands, soft bend in the arms and clasp either side of the rib cage with those upper arms. Fab. Switch legs. Fantastic. And we're going to pivot back round and take those half Hanuman to lunge, dynamic fingies on the other side. Fantastic. Bring the knee behind, grip through the palms, push up onto the toes and shift the shoulders just past the fingers. In your plank, nice strong one line of energy, squeezing the legs, the core, everything's active. Option to drop the knees here, we're going to now anyway. Shift, soft bend in the elbows, grasp beside the chest with the upper arms, lowering the chest and chin down to the mat in your Ashtanga Namaskar. Lovely. And sliding that chest through, soft bend in the elbows, coming up into your cobra. This can be a sphinx instead on the forearms. Lovely. And sink the hips back and down into a child's pose. This can be a higher child's pose. On the forearms with the hips higher, or this can be a deeper child's pose. Connect the head to the mat and connect to the breath for a moment. Recenter. Now we're going to slide, come back up onto the knees and really point that tailbone up towards the sky and start to slide or walk the hands forward as you lower and breathe the chest or the forehead down to the mat, sinking into the shoulders in your puppy pose. Lovely, slide those arms back. Step the right foot forward again, stack that knee over the ankle. We're going to come into that fist shape again behind the back. Momentarily. Then see if you can kick your foot up towards the buttock. Maybe you can just stay here, kicking it with intention. Maybe you can grab it with one hand or both hands, and then lever the foot towards the glute, trying to balance here. So if you're in quite a high lunge, this is quite hard to balance, so try and sink the pelvis forward a little or slide the back knee back a little so that the centre of gravity is in your pelvis area, so then you can sort of balance more easily in this quad stretch. Maybe you can push it really far forward. Just be mindful where your body wants to go to today. Nothing should ever be painful. If you have any knee problems, don't flex your knee to this level of extension. Lovely. And step it back, switch it over. Left foot comes forward, stacks over the knee. Fist behind the back, puff the chest, making that nice arc shape through the spine. Chin is lifted. Lovely. Kick, kick, kick and grasp if you can. Pull it in if you can, that foot towards the glute. Taking that same quad stretch on the other side. Maybe push it deeper. You do you. Got a nice juicy stretch going on through mine. Woo! Needed that. Got very tight quads today as well. I've done a lot of standing up this week. I'm going to come back onto our knees in tabletop. Now, as we did in our sort of tiger kicks earlier, and our crunches, we're going to kick I'm going to kick my right foot up to the sky and look forward. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you want to use a flexed foot and just hold it there. Maybe you can ground powerfully through the right hand, so the opposite hand to the leg, and see if you can grasp the foot here. If you can, kick that foot into the hand up to the sky. Option to be looking down at the mat if you have any neck discomfort, or gaze forward, try to balance. Fantastic, bring it down when you're ready. Take a few breaths. Option to have a little break in child's pose here as well if you need to. And when you're ready, you're going to kick the opposite side up. Hold it there for a moment. Bring that foot slightly closer to the buttock. Push through that palm. Reach with the opposite hand and grasp the foot if you can. And kick it higher if you can. In your tiger pose. Lovely, and let it go. Come into your child pose momentarily. Can you cross forearm and take it higher or sink lower? Stretching out that lower back. Connecting to the breath again momentarily. And then slide the hands back up to seated. Bring the hands to the mat, step and step the feet as wide as the mat. So widen hip distance apart. Give the hips a little wiggle from side to side and shift the weight. Let the head hang loose. Nice straight spine. Grab hold of the opposite elbows. Soft bend in the knee. Alternating the bend from one side to the other. So we can get a nice sway on in our ragdoll. If you have any blood pressure problems here, then come up, or you can keep the head raised and put the hands on the thighs and sort of play with this up here. Lovely. And roll all the way up to standing. Step it together so that your feet are a comfortable distance apart. Engage the legs, grounding through those feet, standing nice and tall, tucking in that tailbone. Palms can face the front of the mat, or they can be on the hips, or they can be at the heart, shoulders away from the ears, getting our breath in mountain. Going to begin a little bit of balance challenge here. See if you can raise the left knee and take it into this bent knee position. Now reach for the knee and sort of hug it towards you. Lovely. Now see if you can put one hand on the hip and open. So my right hand has come to my right hip and my left hand is on my knee, my bent knee, and I'm just guiding that knee open. So make sure you find an unmoving point for your balance to help guide that leg open. Lovely. Maybe pop that down a second and come back to your mountain. Maybe you want to stay playing with that, or we can take the balance deeper. If you don't want to take balance deeper, maybe you could try rocking up and down on the balls of the feet and practicing coming up and down this way, building some strength into those arches of those feet and working on your balance at the same time. Otherwise, grab that knee again, leave your right knee, leave your right hand on your left knee, then the left hand is going to lift up and sweep down behind, and you're going to twist it open and behind you, coming into a different sort of twisted balance challenge. Fabulous. See how long you can hold it here, remembering your dristi, and sweep back. Then allow the knee to bend, and like we did in our pigeon, our seated kind of pigeon twists, we can find that figure 4 leg and allow the ankle to rest upon the knee of the standing leg. And then, when you're ready, see if you can keep a nice straight spine and tuck that tailbone in and sink towards the mat, allowing that hip to open out in your one-legged chair. Maybe you can have your hands on your hips here. Maybe you can have your hands at heart center. Maybe you can go woohoo and have the arms extended. Challenging. Wherever you are, breathing, engaging those legs, grounding through that foot, hands to heart center, and let it go. Come back up. Give the ankles a little bit of love by rolling them out. Beautiful, beautiful. And when you're ready, we're going to take it on the other side. So bend the knee and grab it. Hand comes to hip on the opposite side, guiding it open, remembering that point of focus to aid your balance, your dristi. You can also come to a wall and put this hand on the wall to help balance you here. grab the knee, maybe have a little break in between, or come back to your toe lifts if possible, and you would like to. Sweep the hand behind and twist. Coming into that sort of one leg twisted mountain. Fabulous. And when you're ready, swoop the arm back. See if you can bring the ankle to the knee again. Sink into your one-legged chair and take your arms of choice. Really powerful through the legs here, feeling the back of that hip really opening, making sure that foot is flexed and really latched on. Fab. And pop the hands down towards the mat and the fingers. I'm going to bring the hands to the mat, or they can be on the hips, and step one foot back. I am stepping back with my right foot. Make sure that that foot is angled out to 10 to 10. I was trying to envision a clock in my mind. Keep that head pointing down towards the mat so the spine is nice and long. Option to breathe deeper and fold over that thigh, bringing chest to thigh, making that connection. Lovely. Step it forward and step the opposite foot straight back, pyramid on the other side. Again, you can have the hands on the hips here. If the ground is a little bit far away. Lovely. And walk the hands round to the long edge of the mat, allowing the hips and the feet to pivot and follow all the way around. And sink into a deep forward fold. Let the head hang. Keep the head slightly elevated again if you have any vertigo-like symptoms here. Now stick one knee on the ground. I'm going to come into that sort of kneeling warrior again. And just allow the knee to turn in and out, in and out. Maybe it just comes a little way down, in and out, in and out. And I'm going to switch it over. Bring that other knee into this bent, making sure the hips are parallel to the long edge of the mat and that knee isn't falling in too much yet. Keep it strong, keep it stacked. And then when you're ready, in and out, down to the mat, back up, down to the mat, back up. Lovely. And then bring the hands to the mat and step both feet back into your deep forward fold. All of your toes facing towards the long edge of the mat. And come all the way up. Turn both sets of toes out. Rotate them out to face the short edges of the mat. Bring the hands to the hips and see if you can really tuck your tailbone in. Pull that pelvic floor up. And then open and bend the knees and allow the hips to sink down into the goddess legs. Powerful through those knees, making sure they're turned outward and not sinking in. Bring the hands to the heart center or maybe up overhead. Try and check in that your butt's not sticking out behind. And power all the way up. Fabulous. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, your feet back together. And we're going to do that thing again where we grab the knee. Again, option to come near to a wall again here. we're going to see if we can grab the foot here. If that's not an option today, you can get a strap or a long piece of fabric and hook it under the foot and kick the foot out in front of you, like so. I will show you that from the side. So you can see, so I've just wrapped the strap under the foot, bent the knee, kick the foot out, like so. That's one way you can come into this. And you can stay there, or you can come into it by kicking that foot out into the hands. Then guide it back in. See if you can wrap your peace fingers round your big toe, hand to opposite hip, kick it out, find your drishti again, unmoving point, and see if you can rotate that leg round to the side. And this kind of karate kick, yeah! Great, fabulous, and bring it back. Wonderful. Again, option to use a wall there to aid with balance. And you've got it. We're going to do the other side. Grab the knee. When you're ready, see if you can reach the foot. Maybe you need your strap here. Kick the foot out. Ooh, embrace any wobbles. Find your focus point. Powerful stretch through the hamstring here. Leg is fully extended out, kicking. Wrap the fingers round the big toe. Kick that foot back out. Hand comes to the hip on the opposite side. Find that drishti. See if you can rotate that foot and leg out. Yeehaw! Whoa. Yeehaw's more cowboy actually, isn't it? I meant hiya, hiya, karate kick. Anyway, I'm getting daft now, as I often do. I'm in a deep forward fold. And we're going to step it out wide and make it a wide one. Maybe you want to clasp the hands behind the back and puff the chest. Whew. Maybe you want to have a sway here. Maybe you don't. Bring the hands to the mat, walk it round to the other side, step it forward, roll up into your mountain. Allow the blood pressure and the blood to sink back the right way as you take a few breaths in your mountain. Lovely. And we're going to hinge at the hips. See if we can find the floor and kick the foot up behind us. Now see if you can plant the hand, the right hand, and grab the opposite foot and kick it into the hand. Maybe you come up onto the fingertips to help extend, grounding through that standing leg. You should feel a really nice stretch in the hamstring here. See if you can bring that hand down. See if you can do it with the same foot, same hand. Woo. Lovely. And bring it down. We're going to switch it to the other side. Kick the leg, the foot towards the glutes. Grab the foot with the opposite hand. Maybe you come onto the fingertips to make space. Kick, kick, kick in a sort of sugar cane pose, looking down at the mat, grounding through the standing leg, soft bend in it, but feeling that hamstring working. Bring the other hand down, see if you can grab it on the same side and balance and kick. Woo! The leg up. Stretching through that hamstring. Ooh, and bring it all back down to earth. Fabulous. Step the feet wider. Come up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and lower the bum down. swivel the knees behind you, come onto the hands, into your tabletop, shoulders over the fingertips, grasping the chest with the upper arms, lowering the chest and chin down to the ground, pulling the torso through into your cobra, soft bend in the arms, or your sphinx, sending it back into your child's pose. We're going to flow through again. Come to the forearms, scoop the chest along the floor, push up into your cobra or back bend of choice, and we're going to take it again back into your child's pose. Scoop the chest along the floor, sink the hips back towards the feet, allow the hips to come up to the sky, pushing through the palms into your down dog. Option to have a soft bend in the knees here to straighten and flatten your back out. Nice long spine. Beautiful. Shift the weight forward into your plank pose. See if you can rotate round onto the arm in a side plank. You can also come down onto the forearm and take it lower in a forearm plank. Wherever you are, really squeezing those legs together. The feet are stacked on top of one another, or you can have one slightly in front. See if you can lift the foot to the inner thigh and make this bent leg shape here, like in our chair pose. Then step the foot behind and see if you can rotate and puff that chest out towards the sky. Reach the hand behind, coming into a wild thing. Fabulous. Maybe you stayed in your side plank there. Option is yours. Fabulous. Shift the weight forward. Catch the chest with the forearms. Chaturanga down. Woo! Have a few breaths here. Pull the chest forward up into your cobra. Send the hips back and up into your down dog. Shift it forward into your plank. See if you can rotate onto your side and side plank here. Option to drop into your forearm plank here again. See if you can bend that leg and bring it into a sort of tree pose leg. And then step it behind. Rotating that chest, puffing it towards the sky. Fabulous. And rotate back round into your plank. Shift it forward. Chaturanga down, all the way down. Cross the forearms in front of you. And have a little rest. Woo! Pull the chest through. Maybe you want to take an up dog this time. Then shift back and sit into a thunderbolt pose. So just bent knees. Compose yourself here. Reconnect the breath. Ground back in. Nice straight spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Chin is level with the ground. Now rise up onto the knees, tuck the toes under, and we're going to see about coming into a bit of a dancing camel. So I do have an entire video separately on camel if you want to go back and watch that. To do this, we're going to just push the pelvis forward a little. Maybe you just want to take the hands to the lower back and push your pelvis forward a little as you puff the chest out. And maybe you just want to come to here. If you're happy here, see about if you can reach back with one arm and grab the heel of the foot. I am using my right hand to grab my right heel. I really have to think about my left and right. Now sweep the opposite arm up overhead and feel this nice side stretch here. Maybe you just come to here. Maybe you open the chest out a little. Otherwise, sweep that arm back down, bending and sink the knees and sinking the hips down. Grab the opposite heel with the opposite hand and sweep the arm up overhead, pushing those hips forward. Maybe you open out a little here towards the sky. Sink back down, switch it over. See if you can connect to the breath here. If you're not enjoying this, maybe you can just try coming up and down and thrusting the pelvis forward here, like so, and using the hands on the lower spine to puff forward. This is something else you can do with playing here. If you're happy here, you can flatten one foot, followed by the other, and come down into a full camel. Maybe you're still up on the toes here. Then you can rotate. Maybe you can sink the head back here. Avoid this if you do have any vertigo or low blood pressure. Then maybe see if you can drop the feet flat here. You can bring the hands to the lower spine and lower back down like so. Or maybe you can bring the hands to the heart and come back down the other way. Back into our seated pose. When you're ready, we're going to swing the legs out in front of us into a staff pose. Nice tall spine here. Hands can be on the thighs here or at the sides, just making sure those shoulders are away from the ears and we're sitting nice and tall. When you're ready, you're going to bend one knee and hug it towards us. Maybe you want to stay here, or you can lift the foot and cross it over the extended leg, like so. Take a breath, bring one hand behind you if you would like to. Inhale one arm up to the sky, the opposite arm, and twist and see if you can hook it onto the knee that is crossed over the straightened leg. Maybe walk your hand back a little to make more space and see if you can inhale and twist deeper and exhale and relax into this, making sure that foot is powerfully flexed on the straightened leg. Lovely. Option to stay here or option to unwind and come back into your staff pose. Option to grab the other leg and bend it towards you and come deeper into your Lord of the Fishes pose. Took a half one, now we're in more of a full one. And if you are happy here and you're feeling super strong, maybe you would like to have a little go at coming into a Koundinyasana here. So I'll show you what I mean. So this foot that is down by your hip or your butt, you're going to start to plant that and let the other one lift. This back hand stays planted and comes around a little. This hand also comes down to the mat and you push the hips up off the ground, keeping this foot locked on to the knee, this leg locked onto the knee and the foot flexed, and trying to bring that shoulder sort of level with this knee, and then lifting the hips and stacking that knee on top of the back of the tricep. Then shift the weight into these sort of crow arms and see if you can kick the legs out. Woo, fun party trick. option to do that, or you can take feet together with straight knees and twist like this and latch that tricep underneath that thigh and knee. Ground through the palms again, lift the hips and see if you can come into a side crow. Shifting the weight forward. Ta-da! And come back down. Oh, if you were a bit bored there, you can come into your half of the fish on the other side. Option, of course, to skip all of that. Straighten your legs back out. Take a few breaths. I'm just going to switch around to the opposite side of the mat so that I don't have my back to the camera. I am bending my left knee and crossing it over. There we go, got a little bit lost in transition there. So option to just hug the knee in again or cross it over. Point those toes, take the hand behind the back, point the arm to the sky, latch it on to the outer knee. See if you can twist deeper, keep the shoulder away from the ear, point the toes up to the sky. Fabulous, maybe you want to stay here, maybe you want to untwist and come back to your staff pose. Option to take a deep forward fold there in your staff pose. Option again to come deeper into this Lord of the Fish pose. And when you're ready, if you can, flex that foot, bring both hands round to the ground, twist, stack the knees onto the forearms, lift, and see if you can kick and straighten the legs out from there. Fabulous. Maybe you can twist the legs back round and just style it out and come back into your sort of, wasn't even doing a thing, cross leg pose. Again, option to uncross the legs, plant the palms here and hook the back of the tricep onto the thigh in your sort of twisted pose. Lift the hips, ground through the palms, bending the arms, lift, shift forward and balance your crow. If you're with me, fab, fab, fab. If you're just skipping it all, fab, 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 do you? I just thought we'd have a little bit of fun here with the arm balances, just in case anyone wants to have a go or have a little try with any of them. I have got a whole video on crow pose that builds you up with the sort of forearm strength to do this. So if you wanted to go back and watch that and nail your crow first before you start trying the more fancy arm balances. Either way, straighten out those legs, sitting up tall. When you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead, hinge at the hips and start to sink, sink, sink forward. Maybe you just come to here, grabbing the calves or the knees, just working your way forwards, making sure those shoulders are drawn back so the spine is long and straight, and surrendering with the breath, keeping the spine nice and long. See how far you can sink down comfortably for you. Imagine there's a cord pulling through the skull towards. Lovely. Slide back up. Slide the hips towards the heels. Come down onto the forearms one by one and surrender down to your mat. Gosh. Good job, guys. Woo. Kick the feet up to the sky. Grasp either the outer edges of the feet or wrap the feet Good, the peace fingers around the toes. Pull the knees down towards the armpit. Hook the elbows inside the knees. Separate those feet out. Have a little rock from side to side. And your happy baby. Opening those hips out a little here. Remembering to keep the shoulders and the tailbone still in contact with the mat if possible. Cross the feet over, give yourself a hug. You deserve one. And really massage that tailbone down towards the mat. Ooh, I've done a few back bendy things. While we're here, bring the hands down, the feet down to the mat. Maybe roll out your wrists here a little if you do any arm balances. Give them some love. Maybe go, ooh, pleased to meet you, kiss my hand, and then pull that wrist the opposite way, pulling those fingers towards the elbow, getting a nice flex in the opposite direction through that wrist. I'm going to do it again. Ooh, kiss my hand. And then see if you can pull it back towards you. Lovely. Now straighten the arms and legs out. I'm just going to take the arms overhead, linking the thumbs together, keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Point the toes. And then just start to bend to one side and see if you can shuffle the feet in the same direction as the fingers are pointing, coming into this sort of curve shape of the side body, in this sort of banana shape, like a floor banana. And then come back to centre and take it the other way. Floor banana on the other side. Fabulous. And bring everything down to the mat. Relax into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Maybe you'd like some cushions or blankets here. Propping the knees up. Maybe you'd like to take a hand to the heart centre and one of the abdomen and start to connect to the breath here, surrendering. Allow the face to soften, the eyes to soften, the jaw to soften, the brows to soften, the shoulders to sink, the hips to sink, the feet to fall open. And connect to your natural breath here. As you lay in your Shavasana, to remain and join me in a guided meditation and visualization. And if you would like to leave at this point, namaste, and thank you for allowing me to guide you through your physical practice today. As you rest upon the mat, I invite you to connect to the breath, feeling the rise and the fall of the chest. I invite you to envision the moon at its fullest and brightest, illuminating the sky. shining its rays down upon you. As you lie beneath the moon, know that you sit directly between the sun and the moon, the heat of the day and the cool of night, the radiant sun that brings the spring in minute by minute, hour by hour, to lengthen the nights and bring growth back to our earth. It sheds its light upon the moon. The moon reflects this light and shines it back upon you. As you ground in to your central point between these two spheres in our sky, you rest directly between the 2 points of balance, between the internal, the external, the waking, the sleeping. As you are grounding in, you notice a shadow pass across the moon. A brief moment of darkness. A moment to release any fears, to release any tension. Be still, be calm, be balanced. Embrace this shadow and know that it soon shall pass, and new light shall shed its invitation upon you to step forward, to grow, to step into the new season, your new season. Your new fate, your new path, your new way, to leave old forgotten versions of you behind, to leave what is not serving you behind. As the light begins to grow and return, white feathers fall delicately and softly, glinting in the moonlight. They fall slowly, slowly down towards you, floating and airy and graceful. They fall upon your open palms, a gift for you to graciously accept. From out of the moonlight, a figure appears, glowing and luminous. She is shining, her palms outstretched in in balance. Emerging from the darkness into the light, she embraces both. As she approaches, she whispers. She whispers questions for you to ponder upon. How is my past impacting my hopes for the future? She asks you to ponder it. What can I add to my life to help me feel more energized? What do I need to feel ready to show up fully for in my life? How best can I create a stable foundation for myself? Who really needs to hear what I have to say? How can I boost my self-worth? If I knew I couldn't fail, what would I do next? How can I create more time for the things that make me feel good? How can I contribute to the greater good? Where do I feel I really want to be in the coming months, in the coming years? What would make my life feel full of potential right now? Am I in too deep with something that I might later regret? She asks you, which of these questions is true for you? Which words do you need to embrace? In a gust of breeze, as soon as she appeared, she is gone. Open wings behind her sail back toward the full moon, leaving but a few trails of feathers, and the feathers that lie in your palms. Let these feathers remind you of the answers you came to realize through the questions that you felt, or for you to answer. And when you're ready, I invite you to follow my voice back to the now, back to the room, to the surroundings that you rest upon, that you sit or lie upon. Notice any distant sounds and sensations of the here, of the now, bringing you back to your conscious thoughts. To your conscious mind, back to the now, back to waking. And when you are ready, begin to awaken, begin to stir, to ready yourself, refreshed and ready for your new start. Rock your head from side to side, wriggling the toes and the fingers. Coming back to the room, to the present. Blinking open the eyes or stretching. I would like to thank you for joining me in this practice, in this exploration of the full moon eclipse in Libra, for joining me in your yoga practice, or maybe just the meditation today. I invite you also to like, share, subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it. I invite you also to look in the description box below if you would like to check out the tarot reading that I have pulled on the same evening as recording this yoga class and meditation. I invite you to enjoy that. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you soon. Have a blessed rest of your day or evening. Namaste.